This is the next welding repair. It's off some sort of saw bench. I would say it was made out of shite. What degree of shite we'll find out. Somebody's had to go at welding it. I don't know what process they've been using, but it hasn't been the right one. But I'll do, I'll line it up as best I can, try and get a tack onto it, and then grind some of this weld material out and so I can stick it back together for them. It does feel like real poor quality die cast shite. Right, I've managed to get it glued together. At least now it's square. I've got a weld at the top. I'll put some weld into the back of it, into there. So then I'm going to cut this out with a rotary burr back into the metal I put in the back of it, and then build it up with a correct filler wire, which will be a silicon based aluminium filler wire. Carbide burr is the weapon of choice to remove some of that. This is beeswax. A little bit of beeswax on your cutter will actually help it from blocking up. Makes a big difference. It also works on grinding discs as well. And I've started to build it up. There's one good run in the bottom of there which has got loads of penetration. Right, that's the finished result. Quite pleased with that. All the horrible old weld metal has been cut out and welded right through into clean metal behind it. I shall be able to dress that up on his belt sander and it'll be good to go again. That was welded on AC at 100 Hz, using about 120, 130 amps. That bracket that I welded up last week, which welded up very nicely, unfortunately it's meant to look like that. It just fit together in 90 degree, but it's meant to be straight. So I'll have to chop the bastard in half and re-weld it. It was amazing. It just looked like it would go like that. And the lad says you made a lovely job of welding it, John. It's nice and strong, but it's supposed to look like that. Anyway, right, I've managed to get it cut back in half, ground back again. I've got it set up and clamped down so it's reasonably square with a piece of angle in there. You can actually sort of cast the aluminium around that angle, so I will get a nice sharp corner in there. Anyway, I'll get it welded up and see if we can get it finished for him. Right, these are the settings I'm going to weld it on. Obviously AC, start at the beginning. Pre-flow gas, there's no pre-flow because I'm using a pedal. Start amps 30 amps, so I get a nice clean start. No upslope because I'm using a pedal. Welding amps 160 more than enough. AC balance 30% clean. AC frequency 90 Hz. Downslope, no downslope. End amps 5 as low as it'll go. Post flow, that's time after you finish welding. It's important, make it 8 seconds. That's what stops you burning your tungsten up when you finish welding. It also protects the weld until it solidifies. This can be cleaned out with a file in here, but that's a decent repair. 100% penetration weld all the way through, built up quite nicely. There's another welding job turned up this week for one of my viewers. It's some sort of clamp of an old woodworking vise. As you can see, it's cast iron, it's snapped clean off. Cast iron is notoriously strange stuff to weld, so what I think I'll do is I'll notch out there and tack it together and then lay that out and either weld it with a silicon bronze rod or a 218 stainless filler wire, which is designed for welding dissimilar metals, but it also welds cast iron very nicely. Anyway, I think the first thing to do is notch them out, see if I can tack it together first, and then go about figuring that right out and repairing it. I may even try and weld a washer onto here to give it a bit more strength. I'm not quite sure. I'll see how it welds first. This will be old, so it has a good chance to be decent quality cast iron. What I've done is enough, just so I can tack them two corners together. Right, I've managed to get two decent tacks on it using a 218 stainless filler wire. It doesn't appear to have cracked, so I'm going to lay this out right through and weld it with the stainless filler wire. That hole can be filed square again, and those teeth can be filed back into shape on this side. Anyway, I'll lay it out and then weld it and hopefully get some decent shots of it being welded. Ah, you bastard, you. Right, it started off welding not too bad, and then these appeared here. These are blowholes from the original casting. I don't know quite what's in there. I'll try and put some more weld along there, but the actual cracks welded up quite nicely. Right, it's actually built up quite nicely with a stainless weld. What I'll do now, I'll machine this flat and then probably TIG braze a nice thick washer onto the back of it, onto this side of it, which is going to give it a lot more strength. And then with other ones I can file the square out again. But that still takes a bit of filing, I can assure you. I've machined the weld off here. Well, when I say machine the weld, I've actually had a bit of tickle in it with an angle grinder. So I've machined the weld off. You can see where the weld metal is in there. There's no signs of it cracking. It's a nice strong repair. What I'm going to do to make sure it won't break again, I'll make a washer, probably that size but with a smaller hole in, and I'll bronze weld the washer on, silicon braze the washer on, then it can be filed out to the same size as that square hole, and that'll really put some strength back into it. Okay, I'm just going to make a nice thick washer to weld at the back of that clamp. this gives us the ideal opportunity to play with our newly modified parting off tool. I'll just put a little chamfer on the edge here before we actually do that. Okay, so we've got the parting off tool on. It's got to be on centre height. You need to make sure it's nice and square to the job. Simple way of doing that is to loosen off and just simply push that tight up against it, lock that off. It's got to be square to the job. Where you want the washer to be, .4mm, which is what that is. Lock off the carriage so it can't move, just to make it nice and rigid. I've got my hand on the clutch just in case, but it seems to be coping with that quite thoroughly. Right, that's a nice 6-seal washer, just held in place with a nut and bolt. And this time I'm going to use silicon bronze, silicon braze that all the way around there, and that's going to put a lot of strength back into that. I think it'll be alright the way it is, but that's really going to make sure, like a belt and braces sort of job. Before I weld this, I'm just going to put a little bit of green into it, just to take the chill off it. And also weld around here first, and as that's been welded, it'll warm up this bit here, which is the bigger part. Right, that's brazed up or bronze welded very nicely indeed. That really went in there nice. Very pleased with that. Right, I'll go through the settings that I use to weld it or to braze on this AC/DC TIG welder. I use setting 3 on my welder. We'll start off at the beginning. Pre-flow gas. I don't use any pre-flow because I'm using a pedal. Start amps 30 amps, so I get a nice clean start. No upslope. Weld amps I've got set at 120, I use nowhere near that. Go on to AC balance, I've got that set at 12% and the frequency is at 90, so I'm welding this on AC. Downslope I don't use. N amps as low as it'll go. 5.5 on the post flow, that should be nearer 9 or 10. That's what stops your tungsten from oxidizing when you finish welding. It also protects the weld until the weld pool solidifies. You can use those rods on DC, I've used them quite successfully on DC, but I find on cast iron the AC helps to clean it. I've played around and experimented, and that's just the setting that I use. I was going to leave this so the lad that owns it can use a square file and dress that hole up, but honestly that stainless steel weld is really hard. I've got a carbide burr here and a little Dremel. That should remove it fairly easily. You wouldn't want me to get dentist, really, would you? The file's just slipping over the top of the weld material. It's actually very nearly the right shape now. Once again, it's just time to say thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and as always a massive thanks for all the kind words and well wishes that are coming in towards my wife and my dad. It's absolutely fantastic. Like I say, I'll not be here next Sunday, I'll be in America. I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of people who I've spoke to, a lot of people who recognise me straight away, but I wouldn't recognise them. It's going to be interesting. Deb's really looking forward to getting there. We're looking forward to going to Vancouver Island, where we're actually going to meet the guy that did the video for Deb when Deb was really poorly. I'm sure that'll be an emotional time for all of us, but it really is going to be fantastic. And it just goes to show that in this troubled world, there is some really nice people out there. But anyway, once again, thanks very much. Each link's been cut by hand and bent by land, you bell end.